Everyone knows the story. Come to America, work hard, play by the rules, and one day, you'll make it. Tonight, we uncover the dark side of the American dream, the hidden cost behind the promise, and the system that quietly breaks millions before they ever succeed. I'm Masood. Welcome to Real America Files. They call it a dream, a house with a white fence, a steady job, 2 cars in the driveway, a future you can build with your own hands. For more than a century, America sold one idea to the world. Anyone can rise. No kings, no castes, no limits. Just effort, just ambition, just time. And millions believed it. Immigrants crossed oceans. Families left everything behind. Workers packed trains and buses towards cities that promised opportunity. The message was simple: work hard and you'll be rewarded. But here's the part history rarely shows. For every family that climbed, thousands quietly fell. And the system didn't fail them by accident. Records show fewer than 1 in 10 Americans born at the bottom ever reach the top. Economic mobility in the United States now ranks behind Canada, behind Germany, behind nearly every major Western nation. The ladder still exists, but most of the steps are missing. Sociologists call it a mobility trap, a system where effort no longer guarantees escape, where wages stall, debt grows, housing disappears, and hope becomes a loan, with interest. Look closer at the numbers. Real wages barely moved for 40 years, but housing prices tripled, healthcare exploded, college debt passed $2 trillion. The dream got more expensive, while the pay stayed the same. One former Federal Reserve economist said quietly, "The system now rewards capital, not labor. If you already own wealth, you rise. If you only sell your time, you sink." And that's where the first crack appears. Because the American dream was never just about money. It was about dignity, about believing tomorrow would be better than today. But for the first time in modern history, most young Americans now believe something terrifying: that their lives will be worse than their parents, not harder, worse. This is where the story turns, not with crime, not with violence, but with a promise that quietly stopped working. They told you the ladder was there, climb it, step by step, one promotion at a time, but no one told you. Half the steps were already gone. Today, nearly 70% of Americans born poor never escape it. Not because they don't work, because the ladder itself is broken. Productivity rose, companies grew, profits exploded, but workers stayed still. CEO pay climbed 1,200%. Everyone else stayed behind. Housing followed. One job once bought one home. Now the average home costs 7 years of salary. Young families didn't stop dreaming. They just stopped buying. And when you don't own, you don't build wealth. You only pay it to someone else. Then came debt, college loans, medical bills, credit cards. Nearly half of Americans can't survive a $400 emergency. One illness, one accident, one missed paycheck, and the dream collapses. Here's the most dangerous part. The dream teaches you to blame yourself. When rent rises, when pay shrinks, when debt never ends. The system never says it failed. It says, you did. And that belief is worth billions. Banks collect fees. Investors buy cheap homes. Landlords rent the dream back to you at a higher price. Today, the richest 10% control more than 70% of the nation's wealth. The bottom half owns almost nothing. This is not an accident. Economists call it wealth extraction. Money pulled upward while pressure stays below. And the dream still plays on television. Luxury homes, millionaires, success stories. They show you the winners. They hide the millions who tried and never made it. Because hope keeps the system alive. Here's the truth no one likes to say. The American dream still exists, but not for everyone, not equally, not anymore. For some, it's a ladder. For others, it's a treadmill. You run, you sweat, you never move. And when a dream breaks, someone always profits from the pieces. Because the moment you realize the promise was never meant for you, the story is already halfway over. Every dream has a door, and someone always controls the key. They tell you America is open, anyone can enter, anyone can rise. But records show access was never equal from the very beginning, and the rules were written quietly. In the early days, land was the first gate. Only white men could own it. Only property owners could vote. Freedom came with conditions. Slaves built wealth they would never touch. Immigrants dug railroads. they would never ride. The dream existed, but only for a few. After the Civil War, the promise expanded, on paper, but banks drew red lines across maps. Whole neighborhoods labeled high risk, not because of crime, because of race. Federal housing documents from the 1930s show Black families were systematically denied mortgages, no loans, no homes, no inheritance, while white families bought houses for a few $1,000s and passed them down for generations. That single decision built modern inequality. Then came education. They said college was the great equalizer, but tuition exploded. In 1980, a summer job could pay for a year of school. Today, it barely covers books. Student loans replaced scholarships. Debt replaced opportunity. Records now show more than 40 million Americans trapped in student debt. Degrees became tickets. Only the rich could afford them. Jobs came next. Companies stopped promoting from inside. They started hiring through networks, referrals, legacy connections, family names. The resume mattered less than who you knew. One labor study found nearly 70% of high-paying jobs are never publicly posted. They're filled quietly, behind closed doors, and the latter lost another rung. This is how the gate works. Not locked, just expensive, not closed, just selective. The dream still welcomes everyone, but only some get directions. And here's the part no one teaches in school. Most wealth in America is not earned. It's inherited. According to federal data, more than half of the richest families never built their fortune. They received it. While millions start every generation at zero, they tell you, if you didn't make it, you didn't try hard enough. But the records say something else. Some people start the race, already at the finish line. This is where the dream begins to bend, not suddenly, quietly, when the bills come faster than the paychecks, when the rent rises again, when the promotion never arrives. Records show most Americans now live paycheck to paycheck, not because they're reckless, because the margins disappeared. One Federal Reserve survey found nearly 60% of adults can't cover an unexpected expense without borrowing. That's not failure, that's pressure. And pressure always looks for an exit. Desperation changes behavior. When legal doors close, illegal ones open. Side hustles become schemes. Shortcuts become crimes. Survival becomes a business model. Sociologists call it strain theory. When society promises success, but blocks the path, people find another way. Fraud spikes after recessions. Drug trafficking rises in housing crashes. Scams explode when wages fall. White-collar crime doubled after the 2008 collapse, not because more people became evil, because more people became trapped. When the dream fails, crime replaces it. Not gangs, not violence, paperwork crimes, online schemes, insurance fraud, identity theft, drug networks hidden inside suburbs, crimes that don't look criminal until someone gets hurt. One former FBI analyst said it simply, when opportunity disappears, illicit markets grow. Because crime pays what the system won't. Fast cash. No resumes, no background checks, just risk. And the first crime rarely feels like crime. It feels like help. Selling pills to cover rent, moving packages to pay tuition, running numbers to save a house, small choices, temporary solutions, until the system notices. This is how the next chapter begins. Not with villains, with people trying not to fall. They tell you freedom is everywhere. Be your own boss, set your own hours, control your future, drive a car, deliver food, click a screen. Welcome to the hustle economy. It starts with an app. No interview, no office, no manager. Just a promise. Work harder, earn more. But records show a different pattern. Most gig workers make less than minimum wage. After gas, after repairs, after fees. One federal labor study found nearly 60% of gig workers can't cover basic monthly expenses. Not because they're lazy, because the math never worked. Here's the trick. You're not an employee, you're a contractor, which means no health insurance, no overtime, no sick leave, no job protection. If you crash, you pay. If you're sick, you lose income. If the algorithm changes, you disappear. And the company owes you nothing. App companies track everything: speed, routes, acceptance rates, customer ratings, one bad review, and the system locks you out. No appeal, no human, no explanation. A boss you can't see, controlling every move. Then comes the debt. Cars you can't afford, fuel on credit cards, 3 apps just to survive. They work more and own less. But the ads never show this. They show freedom. Beach laptops, smiling drivers, success stories. They show the winners. They hide the millions, sleeping in cars, missing rent, one breakdown away from nothing. Because the hustle economy runs on one lie, that effort guarantees escape. Here's the truth. The gig system doesn't lift people. It recycles desperation. It turns insecurity into profit. And it teaches one dangerous lesson. If you fail, it must be your fault. And when freedom becomes survival, the dream is already gone. Because when freedom becomes a contract, someone else is already writing the terms.